And we are live. Welcome to the process. It is Thursday, January 26th. I am Josh Engleman here to break down a 6-game Thursday slate. Going to be a good one. I'm liking these kinds of slates as of now. I don't love the times of these games. We got the slightly late lock at 7:30, and then we got this giant gap from 8 until 10, but it's fine. I'm going to watch some basketball tonight. Going to be a good time. Hope you guys had a good night. I did not play last night's slate. There was no chance I wanted to deal with 10 games of nonsense yesterday. Just could not have cared less. I'm repping the Blazers shirt today for Dame. Got to let everybody know. Dropping 60 last night, so I figured I'd represent for Portland. 6 games today. A lot to break down. We can take our time. We got contenders videos coming up after this. Strategy show at 10 o'clock. And then that's it for me. You don't have me tonight. But, hit me up with any questions you may have. Hit that like button. That one would be very important for me right now. Subscribe to the channel. And hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman. You will see that on the screen in a bit, I believe. But I don't have much else to say. I mean, obviously, the story of the night was Dame. 80-something fantasy points. 2 fantasy points per minute for a guard is not something you normally see across 39 minutes, but he hung a number, that's for sure. Big return out of Anthony Davis. He went for just shy of 50 in 26 minutes. You can't really ask for much more there. Not a lot of other, ultra crazy standouts. Like Giannis was fine, but you get that price. Pascal Siakam, I guess, went for 60. Şengün with another monster went for 60. You love to see that. So that's where we stand heading into today. I got nothing else to add. I got no more random other stuff to say. I mean, I guess I could tell you guys that you can get 5 days free of Stokastic Plus Platinum so long as you click the link in the description of this video. That'll give you access to our NBA projections, our ownership, the Boom Bust tool, which is going to show you target scores and optimal rates and leverage, all the things you'll hear us talk about on the shows. You'll get access to our player compare tool, 1v1s and 2v2s with all of that advanced data. So you can look at it and say, if I want player X and Y or player A and B, mix and match those guys if you want. Or you can use our relatively brand new lineup generator. We generate all of the lineups already, thousands and thousands and thousands on the back end. And then we get rid of everything that we don't think looks good at all, so it never shows up for you. Then you can just flip through them like a magazine page, basically. I like this one. I don't like this one. I want to make a change to this one. You can do all of that stuff, export up to 20 of them. Going to be great if you're trying to get your feet wet into either one, just grabbing one lineup, or starting to do a little bit of multi-lineup entry. If you're trying to do like a 3 max, a 5 max, you can get upwards of 20 if you want. Try that out. 5 days free. Link in the description. And shout out to BetMGM for being the sponsor. We will discuss the BetMGM deal when we're about to do our crunches, but they're the sponsor, and I want to say thank you to them for sponsoring this video. If it wasn't for the sponsors of these videos, my life wouldn't be as good. So thank you to BetMGM. All right, folks, let's get into it here. I got a coffee. I am desperate to drink it. I'm going to be honest with you. Not the best night's sleep. Never really gotten into the deep sleep. Had trouble falling asleep, so I'm a little tired. Leg workout yesterday at the gym, brutal. Couldn't even fall asleep because my legs were too sore. I think we went too hard. So, doesn't make me happy. But we're here now. We're going to drink some coffee. We're going to rise and grind because that's what we do every day here, Monday through Friday, 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Cheers to you guys. Let's have a good day. I'm in a good mood, even though I'm tired. Thaddeus Brown, today is the day. You know what, Thaddeus? I think that you just might be right. I think today might be the day. Andrew Martinez, chance Kyrie sits. We'll talk about that when we get to Brooklyn. S&P, good job swapping out of 5th. That's a good idea. Congrats to King Zorro. Finished 5th in the DraftKings 6-man for 8K, 1 entry. That's what we like to see around these parts. That's what we like to see. Glad you didn't swap off of it. All right, let's get this started. Boom, boom. And as I said, bottom left-hand corner of the screen, not exactly large, but you can see that Twitter handle, at Josh Engleman, because a lot of people will spell that bad boy wrong. E before the L, M-E-N, you get it all. Engleman, it starts with an A lot in paperwork. Get a lot of different mix-ups. So let's get into this here. New York Knickerbockers, 8.5-point dogs in Boston, 226 total. For the Knicks, we've got no Mitchell Robinson, obviously. Q-tag on Evan Fournier, personal reasons. I can make a bunch of jokes there, but I won't. Which means that we're just going to have the normal Knicks team that we're sort of used to having. Now, I've got Jalen Brunson in for 38 minutes. That has tapered off slightly. The past 4 games they've played, it has gotten a little bit less, aggressive. I'm actually going to take him down to 30. You know what? It's a 6-game slate. We're going to rebuild from scratch. We're going to go not 378. We're going to go 37 minutes to Jalen Brunson. And then we're going to go, 35 to Grimes? Gotcha. Nunn, Dame at lock, turned to DeLon Wright and SGA. Yeah, that makes sense. We go RJ Barrett. Now, he has been playing the increased minutes and seems to play them all the time. So I'm going to stick with 37 there for Barrett. And then we know that Julius Randle feels pretty good with 37, at least to me. Obi Toppin, I'm just going to give the other 11. That one is about as cut and dry as things can be. And then we're going to talk about Jericho Sims. So I want to look at this game from Tuesday. Because now, obviously, we've had Sims for 4 games. He's played 21, 25, 28, and 33. He's just running up and down the ladder of how many minutes this dude can possibly play. That's frustrating, and it makes it hard. So Sims, very, very standard first quarter rotation. Now, this was a competitive matchup against Cleveland. They got back into it in the 4th. Jericho Sims played the first quarter, 8-minute stint. Played the second quarter, 7-minute stint. Played the third quarter, 10-minute stint. But he was -9. He played 25 minutes. He didn't see the court in the 4th quarter. Now, on the opposite end of that, we got Isaiah Hartenstein checking in for Jericho Sims at the end of the 3rd quarter. Played the rest of the 3rd quarter. Played the entire 4th quarter. Was +11 in 23 minutes. Ultimately, those guys end up splitting everything. I think 26-22 is where I want to go. But at the same time, there's certainly a chance that Sims can close. And there's obviously a chance that it goes worse or he gets into foul trouble. Because Sims played and only picked up 1 foul. I think 26-22 is the best that I can do. If I were going to go any direction, it would be to slightly more Sims, by the way. I think 27-21 would also be pretty viable. I'd like to see if he could play, maybe he doesn't get the 10-minute rotation in the 3rd quarter. Maybe that becomes 8 like normal. And then he does close or at least participate in the closing for 3 or 4 minutes. Yo, coffee's dope today. I'm starting to dial it in. The sweet cream creamer with the chocolate collagen protein powder I'm on it now. I got the path. 26-22. That's what we're going to do for Sims and for Hartenstein. The rest of this then becomes Emmanuel Quickly, who also has the opportunity to just yank minutes around. I'm going to say Quickly at 28. Something like that. And then that leaves us 7 minutes for Miles McBride. That's the best that I can do. Rates, I don't really think that I can change. I think that these rates are going to be about what they are because everything that I've pulled is just those 4 guys starting. So it's Randall starting, Brunson starting, Barrett starting, Grimes starting. I don't really care enough to say that Sims starts. Like, to me, that doesn't change things. So as I look at the rates, just to double check it, because you never know, we get, because these guys have played 900 minutes together at this point, starting. 26 games started together. That's 26% usage for RJ Barrett. That's 28% usage to Julius Randle. It's 27.5 to Jalen Brunson. I guess I'll bump him up a bit. And then it's going to be 13.5 to Quentin Grimes, which I have. Quickly then shows up basically as that bench run around 20. I'm willing to maintain that. We've gotten, at this point now, 270 minutes of Jericho Sims when those other 4 guys are out there. Now, he's not a usage guy to begin with, but he is at 9%. I'm going to knock him down a skosh. How's Brunson shooting? 46, 45? How's Randall shooting? 55, 35? We're good there. How's Barrett shooting? 50, 37? I can handle that. Grimes has been ultra efficient for 2, which is wild to see. Jericho Sims is shooting 84% from 2 this season. Jericho Sims has an 85% true shooting. Holy shit, this dude just doesn't miss. He also doesn't shoot, which is interesting to see. Now, as we look at assist rates for New York, Brunson's is actually a little bit lower than what I got in here. I need to just gut everything here. Brunson comes down to, actually, he could just stay at 8.3. That'll work. Randall is at 6. That works. RJ Barrett is just over 4. That's fine. Grimes is in the 3s. That's fine. Quickly's comes down quite a bit. And then Jericho Sims, I can't imagine, is picking up many assists. Finally, from a rebounding perspective, Quickly is in the 5s. We'll cut that down because every team matters on a day. On a 6-game slate, you got to really pay attention to those guys that are going to play 30 minutes. You don't want to leave anything on the table. On a 10-game slate, like, you can get away with being a little bit less precise just because the player pools themselves are too big. You want to get the main guys right. You don't necessarily have to stress too much. When it comes to the Knicks, I want to get these guys right because they're going to play so many minutes. Jalen Brunson really not rebounding in this setup. Jericho Sims is. Julius Randle obviously is. Quentin Grimes, no movement. RJ Barrett, no movement. So that's going to be the Knicks. Now we go to Boston. I have no clue what's available for the Boston Celtics today. They last played on Tuesday as well. This is 3 games in 4 nights for the Celtics. We have no Marcus Smart, which we know. Brown in, Horford in. Brogdon still questionable with personal issues. At this point, I have to assume that he is in. So I think we're getting what amounts to full strength Boston minus Marcus Smart. So let's go ahead and get that built out where we're going to get what I assume is White, Brown, Tatum, Horford, Time Lord. Time Lord played 31 minutes on Tuesday. So I feel like 29 is probably in our best interest. Now, the last time that Horford and Robert will, like, I'm trying to find out. I guess I need to leave. There's still like some playing time going to the Unicornet. Is he? Did I not click refresh here? Off the injury report. Andrew, I appreciate you there. Evidently, I never clicked refresh on my depth chart page. So whatever I was looking at was from yesterday. So let me make sure the Knicks are right. Yeah, okay, so Fournier is just out, by the way. Appreciate you for that one, man. Didn't realize that I never clicked refresh. That's weird. I just had that stagnant website up there for most of the day. Cool. Good to know. We got 9 minutes out there for Luke Cornett. We'll get Al Horford out there for 30. We'll get Grant Williams. Now, Grant Williams is a guy whose minutes I don't totally understand, so I'm going to work my way back the other direction now. We're going to get Derek White in for, what, 28? Fast PP in for 20. Malcolm Brogdon also in for increased minutes here. Lots of different directions they can go there. I don't know if I want to go straight to 28 on Brogdon, but at the same time, I kind of feel like I have to. I mean, it's there for him. Yeah, I can't go any lower than 28 here for Malcolm Brogdon. Obviously, we want to go to, I'm going 38 on Tatum. 37 to Brown, I think. It's got to be 38 to Tatum. That is just what he's playing now in a competitive matchup. I got to go one less to Brown. I honestly sort of feel like I should go 36 to Jaylen Brown, but the last 3 games he played 41, 42, and 37 minutes. And previous to his 3-game absence, 2 of those 3 games were at 38 minutes as well. So I think 37 is just going to have to work. That leaves me 21 minutes for Grant Williams. Now that does not feel correct to me. But I don't exactly have a place where I can just soak those up. So what we are going to do is take at least a little bit of playing time here away from Peyton Pritchard. And I'm going to take 1 minute away from Luke Cornett and give him 8. That allows me to get Grant Williams to 25. And I think that creates a slightly better build. Might be a little high on Brogdon there, but I'm not entirely sure. So now let's go ahead and see what happens for Boston when Marcus Smart is off. And we get White, Brown, Tatum. Do I even want to say White here? I don't really care about Horford or Robert Williams from a starting perspective, although I probably should. Yeah, let's just say White, Brown, Tatum. How big is that sample? Coffee sip while I run this. Okay, that'll work. Man, I think I'm underrepresenting Grant Williams' minutes. The good news is it doesn't really matter because it's Grant Williams, but it is the Knicks. They can kind of go whatever direction they want. I'm going to get him one more. I'm going to go 16 and 26. I just don't think Pritchard's going to factor in now if Brogdon's back. So I also don't like the idea of removing Sam Hauser, but I just don't think he's going to be playing if everybody is essentially in. Jason Tatum, 494 minutes in games with Marcus Smart off, in games where he has started with Jaylen Brown and Derek White. which I guess is the way that I want to go. They're just going to be the guys that handle the ball the most. So I'll work my way down. Horford's played 290 minutes. He does not get a lot of usage. Derek White, 382 minutes, does not get a lot of usage. Jaylen Brown, though, 400 minutes, 32.5% usage rate. Jaylen Brown actually has a slightly higher usage rate with Marcus Smart off the floor than Jason Tatum does. Now, I don't like looking into things like that because you don't expect that. No matter how this is breaking down, it's not like Jaylen Brown's just going to have the ball more than Jason Tatum. That's not how it works. So how do I want to manage that? What do I think is causing that issue? It's probably like a Derek White, Malcolm Brogdon issue. So I'm basically just going to keep these guys where they normally are. Tatum 32, Jaylen Brown 30. That just makes more sense to me. Malcolm Brogdon is at 25.5. That makes sense because he's just going to be playing more staggered off the bench. So I'm going to bump him up to 25. And then we get Time Lord, who's only played 128 minutes in this scenario, but he's not a usage guy anyway. We'll get him in for his normal 12. Assist rates. This is where I think we'll see some changes. Malcolm Brogdon, big time bump to the assist rate without Smart on the floor. That should make perfect sense to everybody. Derek White gets the bump to assist rate. That should make sense with Marcus Smart off the floor. Jaylen Brown is the same guy he normally is. Jason Tatum, same guy he normally is. Robert Williams, not that guy at all. Finally, rebounds. Close that out. Horford, standard. Derek White, standard. Brown and Tatum, good and reduced a little bit for Tatum. Doing a little bit more. Makes sense. Little reduction of Malcolm Brogdon, which I'm not surprised by. And then Robert Williams. Bit of a bump. Now, actually, I want to quickly look at their shooting rates. I just don't think it's enough minutes. Jason Tatum only shooting 33% from three with Smart off the floor. Not that he's just stroking anyway, but you know what I mean. 54 and 36. Yeah. All right. I think we're good here. So game number 1 in the books. And as I look at it here, I really like Malcolm Brogdon if I think that he's playing 28 minutes. And I really don't see a scenario where he's not. Like, as long as one of these starters have been out, I mean, I guess we can say that on Monday the 9th and Wednesday the 11th, Marcus Smart didn't play those games. We got 30-something minutes out of Grant Williams and mid to low 20s from Malcolm Brogdon. I'm going to take some time away from Brogdon. I think 28's too much. I'm going to go 26, especially because he's missed Monday and Tuesday. I'm going to go to 26 there, and I'm going to go up to 28 now on Grant Williams. He just played more. Yeah, S&P, he's not going anywhere. They don't have a choice. They'll get off of that Gallinari contract. You know, maybe Peyton Pritchard goes. I think you make a choice on Derek White or Marcus Smart being more likely to go over Grant Williams. But no, Grant Williams isn't going anywhere. Okay, so the guy that I like the most on Boston is $5,600 Time Lord. I don't think that Robert Williams is priced correctly. I realize that he was playing 27 minutes a game before. But if he can play 31, like, the goal is for him to be the starting center. I don't think giving Robert Williams 29 minutes is all that crazy. After that, I mean, Jaylen Brown's price went up a bit. That's kind of tough. I do like Brogdon, but $6K, like, you need those. You have to be right about Malcolm Brogdon's minutes at $6K. Derek White, I don't think looks great. Grant Williams, even giving him those minutes, I don't think looks great. I mean, it's a matchup against the Knicks too. Wow, I've certainly taken my sweet time on this first game. Let's look at the Knicks side. For the Knicks, I just get the Quentin Grimes too much. 0.65 fantasy points per minute, but shooting guard, small forward. I like the Knicks more than I like the Celtics for sure. Whether that's $9,900 Randall, 8K Brunson will be a key piece for me. 7K RJ Barrett, I know that I'll get to. I always do, just because of small forward. I'm not going to be all that enamored in Jericho Sims. I might actually say that I think Isaiah Hartenstein is more interesting at 3,300, but that's just going to be a value discussion. If we don't have value elsewhere, then that'll be the case. Game number 2, Detroit Pistons, 9-point dogs in Brooklyn, 231 total. I'm so sick and tired of this Pistons team. It's insane. Killian Hayes is available. We got a Q tag on Beef Stew once again, who missed on Monday. Isaiah Livers is questionable as well. Still no Bagley, no Corey Joseph. Clearly, we need to redo this lineup because I had Hayes out from Monday. You would think, we're going to assume that everybody is in here, which means we get Killian Hayes in at point guard, starting it off, playing 32 minutes. We get Jaden Ivey in at the 2, playing 32 minutes. Now, the real question becomes, what lineup did they run out on Thursday the 19th? That was... Okay, so that was Bay at the 3, Boyan at the 4, Stewart at the 5. Duren was there. I'm going to assume that they're going back to that lineup like normal. So Sadiq Bey, I think, goes in for... Let's see. When everybody was there, it was 28 minutes. Boyan out, Stewart out, Duren out. Yeah. I'm going to say that we get 30 out of Bay. Might end up hurting me. I'm going to say that we get 32 out of Boyan, and then we get Stewart in for 29. At which point I think Jalen Duren is just the straight center backup to Isaiah Stewart. No real way around that. The question then becomes, is that what they did? Yeah, he played 18 minutes on the 19th. He was the straight backup. I don't really want to project that any different unless I see something as we're continuing to move along. We know that we're not going to be getting like Corey Joseph or anything, not that he was playing to begin with. So I think we really are just going to get something very comparable to the 9-man rotation that they ran on Thursday of last week, which means we get Alec Burks as the backup point guard and then a little bit extra. So we'll go something like 20 to Burks. We get Hamidou Diallo in for 21, something along those lines. And then the final guy is then Isaiah Livers. He would be coming in somewhere in that 22, 23 range. Then I'm willing to give 3 minutes to Duren and Stewart. Did they play alongside each other at all in that game? No, they played the straight 48 together. I'll give an extra minute to Burks, get him up to 21, because I don't want to juice Duren too much. I don't know what his price is. It doesn't look like it's great, so I'm guessing this doesn't matter. Unfortunately, I got to pull the rates on all of these guys because they're at full strength. Not that full strength is something that Detroit should be writing home about, but we're going to take Cade Cunningham off just to make sure. And then we're going to say that Hayes starts, Ivy starts. Actually, how many games have we gotten with that actual starting lineup? Hayes, Ivy, Bay, Boyan, Beef Stew. I'm guessing it's like 8-3. We've only gotten 3 games where those guys have started together. Who can I remove from that query that matters the least? Stewart, Ivy, Hayes, Bay, Boyan. I guess it's Stewart. What happens if I take Stewart off? How many games with those other 4 guys starting? Now we're up to 7. So now I'm going to say at least 3 of those 4. No, I'm going to say at least 4 of the 5, including Isaiah Stewart. That should be a good enough sample here. And that should allow me to really stabilize these rates. Joe Bro, what's good? More coffee for Josh. Need it. All right, there's the sample we're looking for. Let's work our way down on Detroit. Again, like I said, a lot of these guys are going to matter. There's weird value for the Pistons. We get... Ooh, maybe that's the play. Nah, that's the play right there. Alec Burks, 599 minutes, 21.5% usage rate. He's just himself. Boyan, 26 and change. Amadou Diallo, 21. Beef Stew, he's just himself. Jaden Ivey, 26. Can't go that high. I'll get too much of that dude. Jaden Ivey also 44% from 2. That can work. 29% from 3. I will reduce that so that I don't get 100% of him. Burks, Dusty. Alec Burks is probably the best guy on the on the Pistons right now. He's going to get traded at the deadline, I think, and you're going to be surprised at the deal. But he is having an exceptional year and should be more in the conversation for 6th Man of the Year award. He's been really, really, really good for the Pistons. 62% true shooting on 23% usage. That's the best offensive mark of his career. He's shooting 44% from 3. He's an average defensive rebounder, an above average assist guy, doesn't turn the ball over, gets steals. Love it. Why would I be of the belief that he would go back to the bench? Back to rates. Jalen Duren, 719 minutes, 12.5% usage rate. Tearing it up. Killian Hayes is at 20. And then we get Sadiq Bey at a little over 20. Why is coffee so good? It's so good. It might be the best thing. It really might be the best thing. I don't know where I would be without coffee in the morning. And again, it's just the taste. I don't even really care about the caffeine. I just desperately want to drink a hot beverage that tastes like sort of chocolate every morning. I want that in my life for the rest of my life. It'll be the most important thing to me. And if they preferred Duren starting at center, he would have started there last Thursday when everybody was healthy. They went to the lineup that I'm projecting right now a week ago with everybody in. I assume they want Isaiah Stewart over Jalen Duren, and they should. Now, if Duren is just starting because Stewart is there, that's different. But I don't see a scenario where they're not starting Isaiah Stewart when he's healthy. Larry, you're killing me. Jen, you're also killing me. By the way, just to put this out there, Jalen Duren has never started over Isaiah Stewart. Isaiah Stewart has played 38 games this season. He has started 38 games. The question you should be asking is, what if Stewart is not going back to the bench because he's never been on the bench. Sadiq Bey is the guy that you're asking, should he be going back to the bench? Now that I wouldn't be surprised by, but Isaiah Stewart is a permanent fixture of the starting lineup of the Detroit Pistons. Isaiah Stewart, the last, at minimum, 99 games he's played for the Pistons, had him starting and not coming off the bench. He hasn't done it in the past 2 years. Yeah, that's not Duren starting over Stewart. That's Duren starting over Saddiq Bey. I would not be surprised if they did that. They don't seem to like Saddiq Bey anymore. And there's definitely murmurings that that Saddiq Bey could get traded at the deadline. But that has nothing to do with Isaiah Stewart. If I'm the Pistons, I'm starting Bey over Duren. It makes no sense to me otherwise. But we don't know. We really don't know. It's the Pistons. They can do just about anything. They're awful. It's not like I trust them to make good decisions. Wow. Oh, that's a rebounding rate. No wonder it looks so high. I thought Saddiq Bey's assist rebounding rate was his assist rate, and I was like, holy shit, that's a very different projection. All right, Pistons done. Let's go to Brooklyn, who we're not going to do anything to today. They're on a back-to-back. They had Philly yesterday. I don't really have a great feel for what they're going to do here. No reason to suspect they're sitting anybody. They're obviously playing TJ Warren a little bit less nowadays. So I'm going to take some minutes away from TJ Warren and give them the Watanabe. They have started side by side, Jeffrey. I don't know how many more times that I could say that Duren could start for Bey. What do you want me to do here? I don't think I'm being vague. I very much agree that Jalen Duren can start today. That has no bearing on Isaiah Stewart. Other than if Stewart is out, then Duren is 100% starting. No, that's not even that, because then they could start Nerlens Noel. I don't think they would, but they could. But yeah, Duren starting only affects Saddiq Bey. And your guess is as good as mine if they're going back to that. I mean, if you think that you can nail down the Pistons rotation, none of these guys are real NBA players for the most part. Yeah, I can't make any changes here to the Pistons. It's just not out there. Cam Thomas became Markieff Morris yesterday. Like, I don't even give a shit about that. I guess it wasn't just yesterday. But I will just throw those 6 minutes over just because. But 38 minutes to Kyrie. I mean, Seth Curry's probably playing like a little bit more. Give him one more minute. Get him up to 29. Honestly, he's played 30 in 5 out of the last 6. Let's just give him 30 now. I don't know what's going on with TJ Warren. That's starting to scare me. Because I thought he was going to be a real piece to this team. So I think we're good here. I'm not changing any rates or anything for Brooklyn. We got to wait to see something for the back-to-back. And we'll have this news. This is one of the 7:30 games, so we don't have to go crazy. And let's be clear here. Brooklyn looks great against Detroit. I would happily get to Kyrie Irving today. I think he's going to look like a fantastic pay-up option. I have no problem whatsoever going to Nick Claxton on a day like today. Seth Curry, honestly, that extra minute that I just gave him has become problematic. Seth Curry, if he's playing 30 minutes a game, he's played 35, 31, 25, 36 in the last 4. That's with everybody in. Obviously, he played 31 with Kyrie out. Even in those other 2 games before Durant, if we just say average since Durant got hurt, Seth Curry's averaging 30 minutes a game. I guess I can't really go a different direction there. So I like all of those guys. I think if I can't go to 21 now on Watanabe. I can only go to 20. What caused Watanabe to play 25 minutes last night? I guess I should look at that. Watanabe He played the end of the third and the entire fourth and closed with O'Neal, Irving, Claxton, Curry, and then it was Watanabe over Joe Harris. So, man. Harris didn't foul out or anything, did he? He did foul out. Okay. So then I don't like those Watanabe minutes at all. I'm going to take that back down to 16, and we're going to redistribute some playing time. That makes more sense. Joe Harris had 6 fouls. So Joe Harris would have continued to close that game over Watanabe, I would imagine. So I don't like Watanabe nearly as much. Those minutes are fraudulent. We'll leave him at 18, though. I think he has the opportunity. I mean, they were willing to go to him, and I think that's important. Yeah, I think that works. Look, we're digging into something a little bit too much. The starters look solid. It's a matchup against the Pistons. That should be no surprise. Am I really on? This is game number 2, and it's quarter after? Guys, what the hell am I doing? I guess I'm giving you the goods. On the Pistons side, I think Killian Hayes looks the best at 6,200. Good luck wanting to get to anything here from Detroit with any sort of volume. We then go to Chicago. 5.5-point favorites in Charlotte. 232 total. The good news is, so long as Chicago looks like they normally do, we're not really moving anything around. No Lonzo, no Javonte Green. Goran Dragic out. So this is just the Chicago rotation that we always get. 36 minutes for Vooch, 36 minutes for Levine. I guess I'm going to go up to 37 on DeMar now, although I probably should do the same for Levine. So we're going to take 2 away there. 31 and 19. 31 for Patrick Williams. I'm going to make be 30. Caruso in for 27. Sunmu in for 28. Eek. I'm going to make that 27. I'm going to make Caruso 28. Kobe White in for 23. Derek Jones in for whatever's left. That's the good news. We don't have to look at Chicago at all. All right. What else do we got here? At least Chicago's easy. We then move to Charlotte. Q tag on LaMelo, Q tag on Gordon Hayward. No Cody Martin, no Kelly Oubre. I guess we just have to assume that they're full strength. That's really the only way to do this. I don't think they're capping TJ Warren's minutes. TJ Warren's not playing 8 minutes in a game because they're capping him. There's a reason that's happening. They don't like him out there. If you're playing TJ Warren, you're either playing him or you're not. You're not just playing him out there for 9 minutes. No coach is going to do that to limit him. He's either just not playing or it's a different situation. I mean, S&P, you posted that stat line before, which is interesting, but he's minus 1.4 offensive plus minus right now on EPM, even at 58% true shooting, which is league average. He's below league average threes. He doesn't really get any assists. I guess he's active in the defensive department. He's been neutral there. I didn't play golf, Jeffrey. So that's kind of interesting on Warren. I'm surprised. Well, I don't think that they care about TJ Warren. Defensive liability. TJ Warren? Yeah, that's definitely not that. I promise you it's not defense as the reason that TJ Warren's not out there. All right, we got to project Charlotte with LaMelo in. He's missed the past 3.5 games. When he's in, he plays like 34 minutes a game. So that's what I'm going to give him. DSJ would be the backup point guard. Terry Rozier will play the 36 minutes a game that he plays every single day. Mason Plumlee's minutes have slowly started to come down. So instead of going to 30, I'll go to 29. I mean, he's not really a scorer. Like, he is and he isn't. I mean, he's always been like a 22-ish% usage guy. He had that 1 year in Indiana where he really went crazy and got up to 60% true shooting. He's sort of like he kind of does a little bit of everything. I mean, I guess he's a scorer in that he does not create for anyone else. So I guess I see where you're going there. But he's not like a guy that just soaks up shots either. It's really weird. Like, you would expect him to have no assist rate because his usage rate when he's on the floor is like 28%, but it's not. That's not how he's like really operating, and never really has. But yeah, it's not like he's getting anybody else involved. So I guess scorer is the right way to talk about it. I mean, Harden wanting TJ Warren to be on the floor doesn't make TJ Warren a defensive liability. I thought he was going to, if he were healthy, he would be essential for this team. And that just doesn't appear to be the case. Look, I'm surprised to see his plus minus be minus 1.4, but I guess that's what, like, if you're not getting anybody else involved, you need to be ultra efficient, and he's just not. All right, so Nick Richards ended up playing the center minutes on Tuesday just to really screw everybody over. This center bullshit for Charlotte's getting old. Mark Williams just was out of the rotation here. Now, they did that for 2 games, and then they went back. I don't know how to project this. You got to pick one or the other. I just feel like it's Mark Williams, but if I project Mark Williams for 19 minutes, he's going to be a value play today. It's so stupid. I hate this stupid team. I hate them so much. No, maybe that's because you got to start Bryce McGowan's. I don't know. I'm going back to Mark Williams. I'm going to hate myself for it. If I go to Mark Williams, I'm going to get Mark Williams. God, this is going to be so frustrating. All right, PJ Washington is easy to project. We're just going to give him 34 minutes. That's just what he plays. And then we got a Q tag on Gordon Hayward, which means that we have to project him in. So let's just get him in for the, I don't know. I mean, if he had to miss the back, well, it was only the back end. So I'm going to say that he plays like 26, which lets us get something comparable to Jalen McDaniels, 26 as well. And then who are we missing? McGowan's has been playing quite a bit as of late. So is DSJ. But if Hayward is back, see, like, these guys are just never healthy at the same time. Did he have a good game? William, or the other day. I see what you're saying there. All right, Dennis Smith Jr. just sort of plays 22 minutes a game. That allows me 14 for Bryce McGowan. That's fine. I can't care about Bryce McGowan. I do, unfortunately, have to pull rates for Charlotte. This is going to be the longest 6-game slate we've ever had. See, this, when you get these middle slates, on 10 games, I don't have to pay attention to as many guys. On 3 games, you just move quicker because there's not as many games. But when you get 6, it's like the worst of both worlds. I like playing this slate, but prepping it is harder. Do I actually have this right? Played in game. Rozier, PJ Washington, LaMelo, Gordon Hayward, with Kelly Oubre off. Man, really? I guess I don't really have too much that I want to change here. Gordon Hayward's usage rate is really just unappealing. These rates are actually what I want them to be. The only downside here is going to be stupid Mark Williams showing up as a value option against Chicago. Time to prove it. At which point, I'm probably just going to switch it to Nick Richards. Yeah, look at this. 52. What am I supposed to do with Mark Williams if I think he's playing 19 minutes today? How do I justify this? I legitimately can't. I legitimately can't. Let's just say, like, if I just turn Mark Williams into Nick Richards and I give him those 19 minutes, it's not like Nick Richards doesn't look great too. This is so irritating. Like, if you even just want to go to this game right here, 29.5 for Plumlee, 18.5 for Mark Williams. They're splitting 48 minutes no matter what. You know that you're getting 48 minutes from the centers. Jay Neville, he was not a borderline all-star. He was just good. If you want to say borderline all-NBA talent. Actually, I think he got a third team one year. Or is the reason that he ended up leaving because he didn't get that third team? Maybe I'm right. Yeah, he missed it. 2017 All-Star. Didn't get it. Didn't get the extra year. The whole reason he ended up leaving Utah. He was really good. Really, really good. He was just the perfect guy before that ankle injury. I mean, that last year before he went to Boston, +4 EPM on offense, 60% true shooting at a time where it was much lower. That's 87th percentile. Shot 40% from three, handled the ball like a guard. You know, he did everything. He was worth 12 wins that year. That's like a $30 million a guy. And that the 2 years before that were 10 and 11. He was a borderline all-NBA guy. Yeah, I don't know how to project center right now. I'm going to go to Nick Richards because it was him and it won't hurt as bad. But you're good luck. Just get ready to get hung out to dry. Nick Richards is the flat 3K. Like if we get 25 minutes out of Mason Plumlee, actually, is this when it's happening? Nope. Never mind. Look, if we get any sort of reduced minutes for Mason Plumlee, whoever that backup center is going to be a problem. Brandon, now that is true. And I think they're going to try to move Plumlee. He's actually been pretty good this year. If you can move him for like 2 seconds or something, I think you do that and you just let those guys rip for 48 minutes. Why not? Why not? For the Bulls, I mean, Caruso for 4,100 is a solid enough value. The Bulls look the way that they always look. You got to hope that you roll the dice and you pick the right one out of their big three. Otherwise, it's hard. I'll end up getting to too much Caruso and Dosunmu because I always do. I probably need to take a minute away from Caruso. I don't like projecting guys where like they're at their ceiling, even though their ceiling is like the most likely scenario. Take 1 minute away from him. Yeah, that softens the bleeding a little bit there. Bulls look better on FanDuel. Somehow we're only through 3 games. It's been an hour. Hit that like button if you're here, folks. We're having a good Thursday. Cleveland Cavaliers are 7-point favorites in Houston. 221 total. Q tag on Donovan Mitchell, but from what I understand, he's supposed to play today. But for right now, I'm not making a single change to their rotation. I don't have to. Mitchell came straight back, played 38 minutes. I don't really see anything that makes me think that I should make a change here. In theory, I can go to 36 minutes on Donovan Mitchell, but it is Houston. So 35 there, 36 to Garland, 35 to Mobley. I might just go 30. No, I'm fine with that. Rubio in as a backup. Okoro has been playing more minutes as of late. Karis LeVert has been playing less minutes as of late. But I think I'm okay with 28 there. I don't have much of a change. These rates all stay the same. Cleveland actually a team that I don't have to sweat too much. Houston's a bit of a problem. They are on the back-to-back. They're playing their third game in 4 nights. We know that there's still no Kevin Porter, or at least we assume that. We got Jabari Smith back last night, so I guess my assumption is we're getting the same Houston rotation that we got yesterday. Tony, glad to have you, man. Get some sleep. Chris, really? Am I misremembering that? Not in my most recent tweets. I could have swore that he was just going to be in. Let me see here. Mitchell and Cavaliers set for matchup against Rockets. I mean, look, there's nothing we can do, obviously. So I'm just leaving Cleveland for right now. Now, should they play him against Houston? Hell no. Very unnecessary. But I mean, I don't see, like, if I Google Donovan Mitchell, like, nothing's showing up saying that he's, like, cooked. Ooh, okay. He missed practice yesterday. Not that it was anything crazy. Coach JB Bickerstaff said, I don't know if we call it an injury, but it's soreness of the groin. Yeah, I don't know. Look, none of it matters. We'll see. Yeah, right there, that's a tweet that is meaningless to me. Donovan Mitchell could miss multiple games. That information doesn't exist anywhere else in details. So, now, do I think that you should sit against Houston? Absolutely. But we don't know. We don't know. There's no way I'm projecting him out. I mean, that I'm clearly not doing. So, Jeffrey, that's probably not the best method here. Could he be out? Obviously, yes. It's the perfect matchup for it. But if it were as bad as everybody thinks it is right now, he'd be out already. Like, that could miss multiple games tweet is such a bullshit tweet. That's so dumb. For Houston, we're just projecting them the same way that we did. This is a team that really just never moves their rotation. So I'm fine with all of this. I do want to take a quick peek, though. I want to make sure that I'm getting Jalen Green's rates correct. So if we do did not play in the game, Kevin Porter Jr. did start Eric Gordon, Jalen Green, Alperen Şengün. Yep. 1-7 in games where KPJ didn't start and those guys did. Jalen Green, 29% usage rate. I am going to bump his usage rate up a hair. Şengün's at 22, so that's fine. Eric Gordon, I think I'm fine there. Jabari Smith, I'm fine there. Kenyon Martin is probably too high. Assist rate, I am going to bump Şengün even more. Eric Gordon can stay. Jalen Green somehow manages to not do it more. All right, so that's what we're going to get for Houston. Love Şengün once again, at no surprises. He's just smashing. He's playing big minutes. I don't really see a scenario where I wouldn't want to go to Şengün. He's been really, 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 really good in this setup without KPJ. 62% true shooting, dominating the boards, getting involved with assists. I like it. I don't love like too much else because this is clearly a tough matchup, but Green, Gordon, Jabari Smith, all okay options. On the Cleveland end, Garland, Mitchell, Mobley, Allen, it's kind of like every other day. They don't look great. One of those guys should nuke Houston. I just don't know which guy that's going to be. But one of those guys. Kevin Love down to 3,400 becomes a really interesting bench piece if you think that he can get up to 20 minutes. But this is going to be a good spot. Yeah, I mean, I expect Şengün to be one of my most exposed guys for today. Very easily. He might be the best play that we've seen so far on today's slate. Dallas are 1.5-point dogs in Phoenix. We know how much Dallas likes playing Phoenix. I know that I need to pull rates for this team. I need to dial in Luka. Otherwise, he's going to end up in 100% of my lineups again, and it's going to become a real issue for me. So we got to pay very close attention to Dallas. No Wood, no Kleber. What are we getting here for the Dallas Mavericks? Spencer Dinwiddie. Minutes are starting to creep down again. I'm going to say that he's out there for, I don't really feel different. I got to go 36 to Dinwiddie because they're right now, they are dialed in to this 8-man rotation. Yeah, look, the one thing that we all need to remember, and I see it in our chats so frequently, and it's just not the way to look at this. You got to stop thinking that people guard other people and that, like, a good defensive center means that the other center can't be good. That's not how this works. A center's defense is a team concept. It's not just this one-on-one, like, these guys. It's not 1994 anymore. Like, we're not... It's not the same thing. We're talking about Alperen Şengün operating like a semi... It's like, imagine saying that, like, Rudy Gobert at the peak of his defensive powers is a problem for Nikola Jokic. He's just not. It's not the same thing. Nikola Jokic is going to operate in a different way. He's getting a lot of his shit from assists. It's not just Nikola Jokic backing down a center. We got to get over this thought process that, like, because this center is good defensively, then the other team's center can't have a good day. You're more likely to see it be a problem for, like, the guards. There's my rant. I'm done. Yeah, like, back in the day, it was like, okay, well, the other center is just going to hold him there, and Hakeem Olajuwon is going to give him a dream shake. It's not the same thing. With defense being such a team concept nowadays, like, no one would ever, you would never want to do, I think Jokic is the perfect example there because the other center's defense is meaningless to Gobert. Like, if it were Gobert, like, there's a different type of guy that you're looking for to like, long and thin type dude could be different, you know, a little bit more speed for Jokic. I mean, Jokic is also a bad example because he's going to bust everybody. But, like, if Şengün's going to be averaging like 8 assists a game, that's not what's slowing. Like, it doesn't matter that Jared Allen and Evan Mobley are stopping Şengün from getting assists. Like, does it bring down rebounding potential? Sure. Could do that. But from a scoring perspective, it's not even on my radar. Yeah, right. Agreed. Cleveland having two good defensive bigs that slow down everybody else is something that slows down Şengün, but it's not because of their defense on Şengün. It's more of like the holistic piece of it all. We did get those 34 minutes out of Dwight Powell again, which is just a real problem to try to think about here. Because you either need to, like, you're either like splitting the difference, which is sort of what I'm expecting to do here. I'm going to go 27 to Powell, 10 to Bertans. So lets me get Dorian Finney-Smith in for 34. Man, projecting this team is so hard. We'll get Luka. Like he's continuing to play at least 38 minutes a game. I can't. And look, a 1.5 point line. This is the game. Look at the lines on these games: 8.5, 9, 5.5, 7.5, 13. 5 of these games are like pretty sizable lines. 4 of them are legitimately sizable lines. Dallas is a 1.5 point dog in Phoenix. This is the game that is overwhelmingly the most likely to be competitive. And obviously, Dallas and Phoenix have some shit. Like, do not be surprised to see Luka Doncic play 40 minutes today. Just don't. Do they play tomorrow? Avs don't play again until Saturday. So don't be surprised to see Luka Doncic play 40 minutes today. All right, Hardaway and Bullock. Hardaway seems pretty good for 35. Bullock seems pretty good for 30. And then obviously I don't think Josh Green is an actual 4. I don't really care. They're not playing like real positions any longer. Josh Green, 27, 29, and 32 minutes over the last 4. 28? There's my 8 guys. There's my 8-man rotation. Where do the rest of the minutes go? That's where it starts to get tricky. If Dwight Powell's not going to play 33, where do they go? Where do they go? It's Finney-Smith first up to me. I got 2 left. I'd probably give them to Bertans just to not do anything crazy. So I got to grab rates now for this Dallas team. I don't have a great feel on what I need to be doing here. So I'm going to say in games where Dwight Powell starts with Luka, Dinwiddie, and Tim Hardaway Jr. Powell, Dinwiddie, Hardaway Jr., and Luka Doncic have started 17 games alongside each other. Luka Doncic has a 38.5% usage rate in that time. We'll get him in for 38. Dorian Finney-Smith obviously missed a chunk of time. Not a usage guy. We're going in for 12.5. Dwight Powell, not a usage guy. He's in for 12%. Josh Green, 252 minutes, 14% usage rate. Reggie Bullock, 10% usage rate. Spencer Dinwiddie, starting alongside Luka for 17 games here, along with Tim Hardaway Jr. 17 games, 532 minutes. Sorry, 545 minutes for Dinwiddie. 21.2% usage rate. 21.8. Tim Hardaway, 20 flat. Assists, Luka. He's just sort of his normal self. Dorian Finney-Smith doesn't get him. Dwight Powell certainly doesn't get them. Josh Green is a normal guy. Reggie Bullock doesn't get him. Spencer Dinwiddie, normal. Tim Hardaway, reduction. Finally, rebounds. Dorian Finney-Smith, not really. Dwight Powell, Somehow not a rebounder. That's really incredible to see. Josh Green. Not that guy. Luka Doncic. Every single rebound. Reggie Bullock. Normal. Dinwiddie. Normal. Tim Hardaway. Normal. Are these guys shooting differently when they're on the floor together? Luka's at 56% from 2, 39% from 3. Can we talk about 39% from 3 for Luka is so insane. Like, people think that he's not shooting well. It's like, shoot with his degree of difficulty. This dude's taking really, really difficult shots. Dr. DFS, Luka's been a lock for me for a couple of weeks. Yeah, S&P, we're on the same page there. Bump up Tim Hardaway's shooting. All right, that's going to be Dallas. I have no idea what's going on with Phoenix, but I assume it pisses me off. Suns, no Shamet, no Booker, no Payne. Okogie in, DeAndre Ayton probable. So at least we can stop doing whatever bullshit was happening with the centers, because that was getting old. Chris Paul down to 27 minutes on Tuesday after 38 minutes, but they did also win by 30. Chris Paul didn't play in the fourth quarter. No reason that Chris Paul's not playing like 34 minutes tonight, and probably more. Like, if he can play 38 minutes on Sunday and not... I mean, he played the entire third quarter against Charlotte, and they just kicked the shit out of him. Never played again. 7-minute rotation against Charlotte in a competitive game in the fourth quarter takes him to 34. So there's 34. We're going to get DeAndre Ayton, who has missed the past 3, but previous to that was playing 30 minutes a game. He's going in for 30. What else do we think we've got here? We know that we're giving Bridges 37. That's simple enough. Actually, we'll go to 36 on Bridges. Yeah, it is a Luka game. 37. Cam Johnson played 18. Didn't play the fourth. Was able to play 29 on Sunday. 28 feels about right here. Last time Ayton was healthy, Biyombo and Landale actually played alongside of each other for one of those games, which is just a really great added wrinkle. I don't have a great feel of who they're going to go to as the backup center. Landale feels more likely to me than Biyombo. Neither one of those things feel great. It was Biyombo the last time. Then they played alongside each other the game before that. And then they split those minutes the game before that. So it's 18. I'm going to go 12 and 6. I don't have a great feel. They could probably play alongside each other. Now, who am I missing? I guess Bridges comes down a peg. We get Torrey Craig out there for 26 minutes. The rest of this should kind of fill itself out. Man. All right, yeah, we don't have Shamet. So I think Saban Lee is going to back up Chris Paul. We're going to get Damian Lee out there for 20 minutes. And then it's going to be Okogie and Saric splitting 33. Maybe something like 16 to Saric, 17 to Josh Okogie. Something like that. Don't feel great about a lot of that rotation. We got to get Ayton back out there, so we need rates. This is a marathon show, folks. 186 people in here, and I know I'm going to not see enough likes. 62. Honestly, a little bit higher than I was expecting, but not enough. Hit that thumbs up if you're here, folks. Let's run that number up a little bit higher. We're going to say games where Chris Paul starts. Mikal Bridges starts and DeAndre Ayton starts, along with Devin Booker and Cam Payne And Landry Shamet off. No, that's probably going to be like a 200 and something minute sample. Yeah. 221 on Bridges. He's himself when it comes to offense. Cam Johnson has only played 14 minutes in this scenario. I am going to give him a brief bump. Chris Paul, 22% usage rate in these games. That will keep for me. Ayton is at 28. I'll go to 27. And then Torrey Craig is just himself. Aaron, what's going on over in Australia? You guys just over there flushing toilets and watching them spin the other way? That's what my guess is. That's what I'd be doing. Everything stays the same on Paul and Ayton. Obviously, Bridges doesn't do anything different. Rebounding for Ayton is what I am interested in seeing. Yeah, very big reduction in rebounding for DeAndre Ayton. Although today is actually a good day for his rebounding. If he wants to do it, that is. Cam Johnson. Yeah, I can't really look at it. That's Phoenix. So we have one more game to go. $7,700 Chris Paul looks great to me. Look, this dude is going to play bigger minutes. Don't overreact to the 27 on Tuesday. He just didn't play the fourth quarter. $7,500 DeAndre Ayton also looks good. The battle between him and Şengün will be interesting for me in terms of exposure. Don't really have a ton of interest in Bridges. Too expensive. Cam Johnson's interesting at $5,300 if you think he's just going to fall into more minutes. Torrey Craig, Josh Okogie. Josh Okogie could be a kind of a problem if you think he could play 20-something. How much of what his playing time was that blowout? All of the fourth quarter. So most of it. But at 17 minutes, I feel fine with that. Let's close. Oh, I got to look at Dallas. How bad is the Luka problem going to be for me today? Yeah, 12-7. 12-7 for Luka Doncic, and I still think he looks good. He's going to project so far above everybody else. I think $6,400 Dinwiddie looks okay. Hardaway, Finney Smith, Josh Green, 3,500 is going to be popular, but holy shit, is he bad on a per minute basis. Even like Reggie, there's something here for basically everybody. $3,600 Dwight Powell. Like if you think he plays 34 minutes, it matters. It matters. Now, we close it out. Final game. Spurs, Clippers. Spurs are 13-point dogs in LA. This is not likely to go well for San Antonio. Now, they are on a back-to-back. I'm not changing anything that I have from yesterday. I just can't. I literally can't. So, we're going to go ahead and leave everything that I had from yesterday in. We got Zach Collins and Jakob Poeltl once again, mostly splitting all of the center minutes. So, San Antonio is just done. Gotta wait till we see the injury report. Who knows if anybody sits or not. I'm going to assume Romeo Langford's also still out. There's no reason to project it differently. Also, really won't matter, I don't think. Q-tag on Marcus Morris for the Clippers. Q-tag on Luke Kennard for the Clippers. Now, that actually matters. Because if Luke Kennard is back, that moves some pieces around again. Morris played 9.5 minutes on Tuesday and then had to leave. Reggie Jackson's starting to see his minutes climb back up again. But at the same time, I think they go away if Kennard is back. Zubac's in for 28. I'm always going to be fine there. I have to leave Marcus Morris in. Kawhi's minutes aren't moving. Covington can go away. I think Reggie Jackson can go away. Terrence Mann seems just sturdy. Powell's minutes aren't going anywhere. I'm going to take 2 away from Batum. I think that we can see a reduction in Reggie Jackson. Although maybe not. He didn't leave the rotation that long. Feels like it's probably Covington. But although Covington can just step right into that Marcus Morris role. Having trouble finding the minutes for Luke Kennard. S&P, I think so, yeah. I'd rather have the Mark Williams, Nick Richards type guy over the like Dorian Finney-Smith. Yes, your example works too. Because when those guys fall into extra minutes, it's massive. Whereas you need the outlier in performance, not playing time. Yeah, I can't really give Kennard too many more minutes. I mean, I'm not going to project him to be like relevant or anything. Everything's just going to stay for the Clippers. At which point, $8,500 Paul George against the Spurs looks fantastic if you think he's playing 34 minutes. Similarly, I have no problem going to Kawhi. Their MPEs are really helpful for today. I think $5,800 Norm Powell is at least interesting. I'm going to take a minute away from Norm Powell. That's another spot where like Powell can just come down to that 26 range. If Kennard is in. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. Zubac's obviously, as always, interesting. For San Antonio, assuming it's the same team, I mean, Zach Collins becomes an issue at 22 minutes if he and Pirtle are going to split that time. He's played 22 or more in the last 4 games. I don't think giving him 22 is crazy. But at 22 minutes, Zach Collins, center eligible, fantasy point per minute, was popular yesterday. We'll see if it happens again today. All right, folks, let's run some crunches after a 90-minute 6-gamer. Hit that like button if you haven't done it already, guys, because honestly, I think I earned it today. This was a real legitimate breakdown of today's slate. We went for it. We really went for it. Let's start on FanDuel. But before we start, BetMGM, folks, it's going away. I know I'm saying it. We're just waiting on the word to say it is gone. 2 months of Stokastic plus Platinum. It's over $300 value. Covers every single thing we have behind our paywall. And first bet insurance up to $1,000. My recommendation, if you can, instead of paying for 2 months of Stokastic, use that money to deposit that into BetMGM. Put that down on your first bet on some sort of underdog. If it wins, nothing changes. You just move forward with that money in your account. If it loses, they give you that money back in bonus bets into your account. So you basically get 2 shots at it, and you get all of our content on the back end from a DFS perspective. You got to be 21 or older. You got to be responsible, folks. If you've got a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Now we run crunches. First one up is going to be FanDuel side. I don't really have a great feel here other than knowing that I think I'm going to aggressively like Luka Doncic, but we'll see. You never know how the value is going to line up. I think we have enough of it on some weird dudes. Did I not click upload? Yeah, that'll do it. All right, FanDuel optimals. 312.85. Optimal lineup by 0.06. Brogdon, Seth Curry, Kyrie over Luka, Quentin Grimes, Paul George, Zach LaVine, Marcus Morris, Time Lord, and Alperen Şengün. I don't like Marcus Morris showing up there, but we'll see where if Marcus Morris shows up in a lot of the crunch. Yeah, I gotta reduce Marcus Morris's minutes. I think. Now 28. I mean, if he plays, it's 28. We'll see how much it shows up. All right, power rankings. It'll be 1-800-GAMBLER, dope heathen. Yeah, Marcus Morris is actually showing up as like a decent play today. I mean, I guess that's what happens when you face the Spurs. Look, it's just another scenario where like we just don't have the no doubt about it value. At the top of the heap for today, Robert Williams number one contender: Kyrie Irving, Quentin Grimes, Kawhi Leonard, Zach LaVine, Paul George, Luka Doncic, Seth Curry, Dorian Finney-Smith, and Alperen Şengün. Sure. Okay, and like I try to talk about this as much as I can. When you guys see like a Quentin Grimes here in that third spot, it's just never going to exist at the end of the day when we create value. Like, he's the first guy to go away. But when you can get a guy, when you're just building generic lineups, Quentin Grimes is a $4,600 shooting guard small forward projected for 5x value. Like, he just starts to fit in multiple places across multiple positions. That's where it starts to get crazy. Like, on a point per dollar basis, he's like the 15th best guy. But the positionality makes it so he becomes really interesting. I also have a very high standard deviation on him. But look at the price now. Quentin Grimes had been at 6K or high fives for a while. He's now down to 4,600. It takes a lot less for Quentin Grimes at this point than it did like 3 or 4 weeks ago. Like, if he can get to 29 or 30, you're all right. Now, I think he ends up being like the 11th or 12th type guy, but he's a value play that's going to get slept on. Now we go to DraftKings. But again, once we start to get real value, he just goes away. Because people are always freaking out about stuff like that when they see this first run. And it's like, well, we don't have any value yet. So if we don't have any value, you got to find it in the mid-tier. That's where it goes. That's why you see balanced bills at the start of the day. Now, on DraftKings, optimal lineups. We've got 274.7, optimal lineup by 0.1. Kyrie, Alex Caruso, Josh Green, Dorian Finney-Smith, Nick Richards, Luka, Paul George, and Zach Collins. I would never play that lineup. But in theory, I don't think it looks bad. You just need so much to go right. The three Mavs are that's a statement. But like, it becomes Watanabe and Seth Curry on the second lineup. So like, you see what it's going for here. Nick Richards, a very firm part of these lineups. As we go to power rankings, look, I'm letting you guys know right now, if Nick Richards shows up in the top 2 or 3, we got to redo this. All right, it's not happening. Looking like Seth Curry, very highly rated. Quentin Grimes, as I mentioned before on the FanDuel side. What is Grimes' price on DraftKings? Yeah, 4,300 for Grimes on DraftKings. On a slate with no value, getting that kind of guy who I assume is shooting guard small forward, yeah, that's just so valuable at 4,300. Again, we're talking about a guy that was 5,800 at one point. Now his salary is $1,500 cheaper, but he still has the exact same role on the team. This is so disgusting. So disgusting. All right, Kyrie Irving, my number one contender, thank God. Quentin Grimes, 2. Paul George, 3. Seth Curry, 4. Spencer Dinwiddie, 5. And we will round it out with Barrett, Şengün, Claxton, Chris Paul, and Killian Hayes. 8 o'clock on the dot, 191 people. We just went 90 minutes on this bad boy. I need a break from talking. It's not really going to happen, though, because Contenders videos need to be recorded. Strategy show at 10 o'clock with Adam. Actually, really excited to break this one down with Adam. Getting his perspective and getting the tweaks really makes me feel a little bit better. You really need somebody to bounce this stuff off of, and there's nobody better in the industry than Adam to do so. So I'm really happy to have you guys here for today. Good luck to everything that you're doing for tonight. We've got one more this week, rounding out the work week strong. I'll see you guys again tomorrow morning. This was The Process.